these intimate home videos and family photos used in court a rare look at Michael Jackson as he grows from a young boy to one of the most celebrated entertainers of our time, performing songs like I Want You Back. And finally, into a father himself.
Hi, my name is Prince Michael Jackson, and I love my daddy. And I'm Daddy's baby, and I love my daddy. And my name is Daddy's baby.
But by age 50, Jackson was gone, and his personal doctor, Conrad Murray, had been found legally responsible for his death. But was Murray solely to blame? Not according to the Jackson family. Michael's mother and his children went back to court in 2013, this time filing a wrongful death suit against concert promoter AEG Live.
This case involved a number of legal questions. First of all, was Dr. Murray hired by AEG Live? Did AEG Live know that he was a risk to Michael Jackson? And should AEG Live pay damages?
Kevin Boyle was the attorney for Katherine Jackson.
The AEG defendants were negligent in hiring, retaining, or supervising Dr. Conrad Murray, and that ultimately led to the death of Michael Jackson.
AEG Live attorney Marvin Putnam said that Dr. Murray was working for Jackson and not the company.
I can't quite understand how they're making the claim they're making, given Conrad Murray's own statement. 2 days after Michael's passing, he said, I was hired by Michael Jackson. I had worked for Michael Jackson for years.
AEG Live stood to lose or gain millions based on the results of Jackson's concerts. And the Jackson family claimed AEG Live instructed Murray, quote, not to look out for Jackson's best interests, but rather to do whatever medical procedures were calculated to get Jackson to perform. And an email AEG Live co-CEO Paul Gongaware sent to the show's director seemed to support their theory.
It really is a smoking gun. It's probably one of the most important pieces of evidence that Michael Jackson's attorneys have that AEG supervised, directed, forced, employed Dr. Conrad Murray to provide Michael Jackson drugs so that he could perform.
At 4:11 p.m.
In a taped deposition played for the jury, Gongaware was confronted with the email he sent.
It says, we want to remind him that it is AEG, not MJ, who is paying his salary. We want him to understand what is expected of him. Did you write that email?
I don't recall.
He came across as suffering some sort of executive amnesia, if you will.
The Jackson family, in looking at that email, believes that AEG made it clear to Dr. Murray that he was supposed to make sure that Michael Jackson performed no matter what.
Hold for applause, slow umbrella fade out.
Show director Kenny Ortega emailed Gongaware 11 days before Michael's death with concerns about the singer's health. An emotional Ortega read his emails to the jury. There are strong signs of paranoia, anxiety, and obsessive-like behavior. I think the very best thing we can do is get a top psychiatrist to evaluate him ASAP. Ortega could see, perhaps better than anyone else, exactly what effect the grueling preparation was having on Jackson.
The insight that he gave into what was happening with Michael in his last weeks was incredible, about his deterioration, about how he couldn't remember his lyrics to his songs, about how he wasn't getting the dances, and about the conversations with the AEG Live executives about what to do about Michael.
AEG attorneys argued Michael Jackson was a drug addict who sought out doctors who would feed his addiction, like Conrad Murray.
They brought out a long parade of doctors who had given Michael painkillers or had used propofol on Michael Jackson.
The defense used the deposition of Randy Jackson, Michael's brother, to argue that not only was Michael addicted to drugs, but he would have resisted any attempts at an intervention.
AEG Live said, if the family can't help him, if the family can't stop him, how could we, as concert promoters, ever be expected to have done that?
Michael Jackson's two oldest children, Prince and Paris, were on the witness list to testify until
Paris Jackson, the 15-year-old daughter of pop icon Michael Jackson, was rushed to a hospital in Los Angeles.
in the midst of the trial, near tragedy. Michael Jackson's daughter, Paris, was rushed to the hospital after cutting her wrists in an apparent suicide attempt. Paris received medical attention and would no longer testify. Prince, Michael's son, did go on to take the stand. He told jurors that his father would often cry after talking to AEG Live executives, and the pop icon feared for his life leading up to the concerts.
It was very clear that Prince felt that Michael Jackson felt really pushed to the brink by AEG executives. He didn't trust them, he didn't like them, and he heard his own father say, while sobbing, they're trying to kill me.
Only a jury could decide if that were true. The verdict came months after the trial began. Question 1.
Did AEG Live hire Dr. Conrad Murray? Answer, yes.
But when the court assistant read the second question,
Was Dr. Conrad Murray unfit or incompetent to perform the work for which he was hired? Answer, no.
jurors decided that AEG Live was not liable for Michael Jackson's death. The verdict means the Jackson family will not get any money from AEG Live. Still, Katherine Jackson claims the trial has never been about money.
She was asked during her testimony why, and she said, I want to know what happened to my son. It is a search for the truth.
Coming up.
My brother was the baddest boy that ever held a microphone. That boy was bad. And we'll never have another one.
The king of pop remembered.
He is everything to music. This man was a universal pop icon. And I'm gonna miss him. I'm gonna miss him so much.